The podcast mamas are back. Podcast mamas are back. Where's my Ryan? Ryan, just play it for us. There you go. What time is it, Ryan?
It's time for bed. It's time for you. Mom and Dad says what you gotta do. We don't care if you ain't tired. Take it from the one whom you so admired. It's bedtime for Hannah Missy. Don't you cry or go and hiss it. No more games and no running around, 'cause we don't wanna hear another sound. Just take your bell and get tucked in and don't make us swear again and again and again.
Welcome back to Podcast Mamas, navigating life with laughter in a special needs world. I am one of your hosts, Carly, here with...
And I'm Nicole, reporting live from Chicago.
Oh, Nicole, how are you doing out there in sweet home Chicago?
Oh, great. We're starting to have a slight change of the seasons today. And I know we've talked about this before on here. Fall is always one of my favorite times. I'm not like one of these fall y'all pumpkin obsessed people, but I do like the changing of the seasons. We're finally kind of getting like a little gloomy day, but it's been very nice here, like in the 80s. So It's been super nice.
You've been like Arizona weather.
Yes, we've been very nice.
We finally did take a dip in temperature for the morning and the evening, which is carrying me through. Like October 1st, it literally dropped to 59 degrees, 65-ish in the mornings and the evenings, which is great.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been nice. And guess what?
What?
Guess who has been erected? Do you remember?
Wait. Okay, don't tell me. It's either big scary cat or a big ghost or a big pumpkin.
Huge
it's some sort of large
huge
cat. Okay, yes.
Cat. So
okay.
I don't know if anybody remembers from last year's pod around this time, but we have a 2-story giant black cat that we erect every Halloween, this giant inflatable, glowing, lit up cat. And Ella has been stalking us for weeks, and the cat finally went up yesterday. So
now, is there ever a wind situation with
oh my gosh, that is really funny that you ask that, because yes. So
was there one?
There's always a wind situation with the stupid cat because it's like a giant parachute, you know?
Yes.
And I did not take the cat down last night when we went to bed. I should have. I keep forgetting. Every year I forget. It's like a black hole in my head.
And does it like blow up? Is that what it is? Like
yeah.
It's plugged in and it goes
inflatable.
Up and with like a little generator thingy. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And it's staked down, and I staked it down really good, but not good enough.
You are married to an engineer, so I'm sure it's pretty well in place versus my house. The cat would just be the laying down cat. Go ahead.
But I did a lot of work staking it in. It stood tall. It looked great. And then I didn't take it down last night. And the winds at night can get really fierce. And so it didn't blow away, but 2 stakes came out. Ella woke up screaming because the cat erects right outside of her window. And she came down running, which actually was helpful because this way I didn't have to wrestle her to wake up this morning. She came running down that the cat was down, huge cat down, and we had to deflate it until I can restake it in again this afternoon. And then I promised her that when her bus rolls up this afternoon, she'll see the cat again. So, but it's that time of year. We are decorating. The Halloween stuff is up.
That is so fun. I'm actually jealous. We haven't done a lot outside.
Your daughter. Mia's your daughter. She
has started. So she'll start putting little pumpkins out. Can you see her? No.
She's so good. Yes, I see it.
Yep. She has started doing her her little stuff. She likes to get the decorations going outside too, though. And so we'll start that soon. Well, with fall also comes, as we know, we've had plenty of football. And what does football include? Cheerleading. And I'm going to assume from some pictures that Ella was cheerleading last week.
Yes, she has wholeheartedly been loving this experience. And we even had a semi-milestone. Usually, if Ella sees us in the crowd, she'll want to beeline over to us or she might cry a little bit, blah, blah, blah. But we went and watched her game. We sat near to the front row, if not the front row, because I wanted to get some photos of her. And she was excited when she saw us, but she did a great job. She kept cheering. She loves it. And then we took her home after that. We had to stop at the store to pick up something, and she was literally cheering through the grocery store, just, doing the fight song, just jumping and so happy. So
I so love that she is given that opportunity to be included in what is a quote typical activity, right?
Yeah.
She can be with the typical kids, the typical girls, in doing this and do something that I don't know she might normally get the opportunity to do. I have to tell you, when I was watching her, please don't take offense to this.
No.
I was impressed with how well she was keeping up. I mean, I'm not saying she was on every beat. Right. Obviously, she was a little off. But Carly, she was doing much better than I would have anticipated, honestly.
No,
like she did great.
I mean, let's face it.
Did better than I would do, for sure.
But that, and I agree with you, because in today's circuit of cheer, of any kind of sport for that matter, the level of expectation, the level of rigor and advanced movement of
yes,
like all of it is so much more challenging than it ever was when we were growing up. So yeah, for her to be able to keep up with these girls, who, by the way, there's no practices. There are no after school or before school practices for cheer. Yeah.
What?
So
Why?
Because practices are reserved for competition. So over the summer, the coach has a squad, maybe it's the previous squad, I don't know. They create videos of the cheers and they put them on their Instagram. And you have to
go. I bet they do.
You have to go to the Instagram and you have to watch and learn the cheers on your own at home and then perform them to the best of your ability in sync with everybody else at the game, because practices are reserved for competition.
Yeah. Well, that confirms it. I could wear a cheerleader shirt that says not in 94 and certainly not in 24. There is no way I couldn't have done it then. And this is even worse. I mean, to not have someone showing me the moves, can you imagine? Oh gosh. Oh boy.
It's just like going back to that beautiful day in 2001 where you were rehearsing the bridesmaid dance routine on a VHS, from a VHS tape. That's what that is.
But I could, So what Carly's letting you all know is that all of her bridesmaids had to do a dance at her wedding on the dance floor to Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Now, let me say this. The difference there is I could take 5 shots of alcohol before I went on. Not that a cheerleader couldn't, but
you would hope
she shouldn't.
Wouldn't. Yes.
But she shouldn't. Would hope she wouldn't. So, that was, So we all know what that would look like. If anyone would like to know what me cheering would look like, just look back at that video. So,
which is on YouTube.
I was impressed.
Which is on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I was impressed so cute, so adorable, so fun for her.
I know.
And I'm so happy she gets to participate in these activities.
No, I know.
So,
And the cheer coach is really a wonderful person. I mean, so Ella's going to cheer at every home game, and I think she has about three more home games for football, but then she gets to go into the basketball season, and she will cheer at home games for basketball too, which is cool. So she's got, several more months of being a part of this culture and this community with these girls, which is, invaluable. It's absolutely invaluable.
yeah, of course.
And I have to give a
Of
shout out
course.
to Hannah because she is the one who makes this all possible because I could not sit on that field and be the go-to person. I mean, I could, I just would not enjoy it. So it is wonderful that Hannah knows so much more than I do because she was a cheerleader in high school. She knows to contact the cheer coach and ask, what is the hairstyle for the game tonight?
Yeah.
Blow my mind. I didn't know that was a thing. Who knew?
Heavenly Hannah.
So shout out to Hannah for the Friday Night Lights appreciation. We sent her a little gift. I don't know that if she's seen it yet because she hasn't said anything. But it was really wonderful. It is wonderful to have her be a part of this with Ella because she does such a better job than I could ever do, and I'm very grateful for that.
Oh,
Now, enough of
so
the warm
fun.
fuzzy crud because it has been an exhausting week with this little cheerleader of ours over here. She I was a prisoner to an hour car ride with her the other day, and I thought I was going to drive off the road. And I'm not kidding. I had to drive Chase and his buddy to basketball practice, and it's 30 minutes away from our house. And on these evenings, Hannah does not work, so I take Ella with me. Now, it's nice, right? Because Ella gets to go for a fun car ride. She plays DJ. She tries to talk to Chase's friends, so it's some social stuff for her. She dresses up, usually in costume this time of year, so you never know what to expect when friends get in
Mm-hmm.
the car. Like this other day, she was a full-on witch with the hat, and poor Preston had to endure, what are you going to be for Halloween, Preston? That sort of deal. But
Yeah.
I am not kidding you. She was in such rare form. It was like, let's start off with the conversation where she's telling everybody about using the bathroom. And she doesn't say it like
Mm-hmm.
that. She says, Preston, if I go poop, pee, potty in the toilet, because she doesn't understand toilet and potty are the same thing. If I go poop, pee, and potty in the toilet, I get to bring Rainbow One to school. Now, granted, Preston's got no idea what this kid is saying. Thank the Lord Jesus. So I will be
Mm-hmm.
but Chase knows what she's saying. So I'm trying to redirect the conversation and say, Preston, what are you going to be for Halloween? What are you going to be for Halloween? How do we change the subject here? Or then,
Preston, do you like candy?
or then she'll, oh, God save us. This other little boy on her bus who she argues with all the time apparently pushed her at school the other day. Pushed her in her
Oh no.
back where her little Remy device is. I am sure it was both
Mm-hmm.
alarming and upsetting and probably hurt her a little bit because that's where the site is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things. I mean, we have had this happen before where, Ella gets in somebody's personal space and they react, doesn't make what they did right, but it's
No.
an opportunity for both parties to learn space and appropriate responses to invasion of
Yep.
space, okay? So every human we came into contact with learned about how David pushed Ella in her back at school. So,
Mm-hmm.
that being the backstory, now we're continuing to drive along on the freeway. The music's playing. There's actually a lull where it's peaceful for a minute. That's what it was like.
This is shocking. This
Yeah.
is shocking.
I almost ran off the road because she made that sound. So if anyone just jumped, imagine me driving in traffic on the freeway and she makes that sound out of nowhere.
Do it
And
again. Do the sound again.
okay. Like that.
Okay. Okay. It's
Yeah.
not coming through exactly clear. Like it's not coming through in a way it would
Oh,
startle me.
okay. Maybe if I move my speaker back. Woo!
Okay. All right, got it.
Okay. That's the sound she makes while I'm driving, and I almost ran off the road because out of nowhere, her back hurts. And now we got to dive
Oh,
in to the conversation with Chase's friend about what happened with her back. So, she
hmm.
lives to impress. She lives to be a little dramatic because she loves to be the center of attention and get, not maybe the center of attention, but she loves to get lots of attention.
Yes.
So now I'm like mad at her and I literally take my hand and go boom across her mouth. I'm like, don't do that. I almost ran off the road, you know?
Uh-huh.
So poor Preston, this boy, he is seeing things. I mean, he doesn't even have a sister in his household. So he's got to deal with all of this drama and these car rides with Ella. And
Oh my goodness.
and so now I'm arguing with Ella. It was just such a stressful hour of driving by the time I got to my parents' house. I was just almost crying because I was so tired from just trying to keep her from behave in the car.
I can't. Oh, I'm telling you. So I'm listening to this and thinking like, gosh, the car has gotten so stressful, right?
Yep.
Even with typical teenagers. If you have a couple in the car, they're fighting. If they're not able to drive themselves,
Yes.
or just you don't probably deal with this as much because Carter has his own car, but I might get in people's phone chargers are missing if the car doesn't already have a charger. There
Yes.
might be discussing food bags,
Yes.
perhaps a pair of mildew smelling cleats,
Yes.
or the list goes on. One of my favorites is leaving my windows down in a rainstorm.
Oh my gosh.
But the list goes on, it's so I will tell you. And then just like the driving, like carpool with like multiple kids in the car, like, right? You're all of a
Yes.
sudden it's quiet, everyone's on, and that they're all on their phones doing what they do. And then it's like similar to Ella's noise, someone busts out and you're like, I
Right.
was enjoying a quiet moment, right?
Right.
Like,
The car, yeah.
oh my
So,
gosh,
yeah, you're right, Nick. I guess the car is a stressful environment with kids.
it just is.
It
As
really is.
littles, olders. And I'd imagine like special needs children in particular, right?
Yeah.
Because they are in a contained environment and they're like, unfortunately, like they're like stationary, right? They're
Yep.
like strapped in,
Yep.
right? And Ella is at her best, so to speak, because she's got a captive audience.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's her prisoner now. Hmm.
Here
Oh,
we
yeah.
are. We're all in the car. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. In fact, so strategically on Tuesday, I finally learned to place Preston behind her chair, not behind my chair in the car.
Oh,
Because
mm-hmm.
when he's behind my chair, she can see him and then she keeps tapping him. And then she'll stare at him. And then she'll try and talk to him and I'll have to translate. And it's just this exhaustive process. And I thought, I'm on it. I know how to fix
Yeah,
this. This is going to be a better car ride tonight because Preston is stationed behind Ella. She can't see him. She can't talk to him. She can't cause all those issues. But no, she found a way. She found a way.
yeah.
She really did. Um, okay, but on the other flip side, the contained environment can work in my favor when time needs to lapse and you need to keep her busy in a safe way that you can keep an eye on her, right? Right?
Well, yeah. And the flip side is you do have her contained.
Right. That right. So
Yeah.
this evening, for example, I have to go to a meeting from 6 to 8. And Chad is working. He is not available to come home and be with her. Hannah is in school, so she is not available to help. So Carter is going to be on duty. The 17-year-old is going to be watching
Oh boy.
tonight. And I think one of my approaches is going to be leave the house at 6:30 to take her through a drive-through to pick up dinner. Take your time getting there. Maybe go look at some
Mhm.
Halloween decorations at other people's houses to buy yourself time.
Oh, it's fun.
you know
Yes.
so that's what I'm thinking, so that he's not in the house, chasing her down, cleaning up after her, entertaining her. Like, if I give him money, so now I've got to pay him to watch her, I'm going to have to give him some money for gas, and I'm going to have to give him money for dinner. So he's going to make bank tonight if he just
Okay.
keeps her alive for 2 hours. And
Yeah.
because the other problem is that 6 to 8 window is actually when she likes to poop too. So
Oh God.
I
Oh
know,
boy.
I know. And oh my goodness. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to put him in a good situation by getting her in the car. He drives to go get some takeout, shows her some Halloween decorations, makes their way back here, and then I'll be home, within hopefully maybe 30 minutes of that little excursion that
Yeah,
we're doing.
you should let him do a half hour at home,
Yeah.
hour type excursion. I love it. I say have her find Halloween decorations and look at them for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'll suggest to him tonight. Now, Carter is really good with her when it comes to the bathroom because he won't help her. And
Oh,
he knows that she can handle it herself. So if he smells anything, he'll be like, "All right, Ella,
yep.
you go deal with it." And he'll walk her to the bathroom and he'll close the door and he'll go away. And he's like, "You have to
He'll
deal with it."
sniff it out.
hmm Yeah, so he is very, very good with her. Chase, on the other hand, Chase will play with her, he'll interact with her, but when it comes to the bathroom, he is just he's
Yeah.
he still really struggles. He really, really
Okay.
struggles.
Well, understandably, they're
Yeah, I
teenage
know, I
boys.
know.
Let's
It's
let's
true.
give them a little,
I know, it's true. This is a
a
lot.
little
It's a
leeway.
lot for teenage
It
boys to
is a lot.
manage. There's their
You
older
know,
sibling that's, you know, got
a
incontinence.
lot. And I was thinking, and I was reminded of, again, giving gratitude, but also the sacrifices that special needs families
Yeah.
um, make in general. I was at dinner. Uh, my husband and I were sitting at a bar having dinner, like up at the bar. That's crucial to the story.
Okay.
And we ordered cocktails, and I didn't think much. The bartender walked up and then he left. And my husband said, I know him. You know who that is. And he starts to go on to tell me, like, that's the guy that used to own this kind of more of like a carry out restaurant very close to our home. Well, when we first moved here, and we would always go there. Mark loved the pizza by the slice, and they had this other Italian food, whatever. So, and we are in like a pretty fancy upscale restaurant at this
Okay.
point.
Okay.
And so he goes, that was the owner of that place. I know it was. I'm like, "Ugh, all right, well, we'll see. Mark's not going to say anything, but of course I do." So the guy comes back my way, and I'm like, "Hi." I go, "Thank you so much. The drink's delicious." I'm like, "I have to ask you, did you used to work?" So I used the verbiage work,
Okay.
which I think offended him. But I said, "Did you used to work?" And I didn't say the name of the place. I just mentioned my town, like at a restaurant in blah, blah, blah. And he says, "Work? Well, I owned a place." And so my husband says, "I knew it. Yes, you owned, and he names the restaurant."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you are our saving grace for so many years. We loved your restaurant. I think you're so talented. Your food was so good."
Yeah.
Mark's like, "What happened? Was it just the rent? Blah, blah." And he's like, "Well, actually, I was pregnant when my wife was pregnant, when I started the place, and then our son was born, and he has special needs, and he has cystic fibrosis, and he's going through the whole thing, and he's basically just like, it was just too much. I couldn't keep the restaurant going and tend to my needs at home." And so the long and the short of the story was, here is this man, right? Like life throws this at him and he's still out, but like
Yeah.
it just reminded me of like he had to give up on his dream for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
To get stuff under control
Yeah.
at home
Yeah.
with his
I know.
special needs child. He said, I wouldn't do it any
Sacrifice.
differently. And so it's, the
Oh,
sacrifice. And that's what you and
gosh.
your boys and your family are doing too.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. I hope and pray that he is able to open up a new place later in life that'll be even better and he'll have seen that, that was why maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a better place waiting for
Yes.
him. So, oh,
When
I
one
know
door closes.
there is a wee bit of sacrifice on, this side. The kids are on fall break next week. Next week is SUSD fall break. And again, I only have Hannah Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, which is a godsend.
Uh-huh.
But I have a really fun event that I want to be at for Carter's High School. And I asked my friend if she thought I could bring Ella. And I said, just be honest, because it's one of those things where it's really just adults that should be there. And
Yeah.
and she's like, unfortunately, I don't think it would be a good idea. And, that's just the way it goes. I can't make it and I can't make it. And I'm going to try.
Uh-huh.
I don't dig feeling sorry for myself. I'll have a moment, like, oh, this really
Yes.
stinks for me. I got to find my way out of it, So kind of that's what I've got to work on that. I've got to work on a way to
So
make
is it an event during the day? Is that
Yeah.
what the problem is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really neat. It's a fashion show, a private fashion show, and
Oh.
because I'm on the committee for the high school fashion show, we were invited to go and see one at a department store, and so really fun. It sounds really fun. Who wouldn't want to go see a fashion show and have champagne? So
Yes.
yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to make that one work. So yeah, fall break is upon us next week. So that'll be a fun variable to talk about. And also, Miss Laura wants to come back next week. So I don't think, actually, her timing couldn't be better now that I think about it, because
Yeah.
she is going to join us to talk about self-care for moms and women who are special needs or not, how self-care is important in our lives. And I am sure that midweek, next week of fall break, I am going to need to be reminded of how I need to take care of myself.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure. We don't really have fall break.
That's
Ben
nice.
has like one day off or one or two, not even
Yeah.
together. And Mia has a long weekend this weekend. She has Friday and Monday off, but
Okay.
nope, we do not have the fall break that you speak of.
I mean, because we're going to look for something to be grateful for because we're ending the show here, right? I am grateful. I will not be waking up at 5 a.m. for 7 days. That
Yes, I agree.
brings me a lot of joy to not have to wake up
That
at
brings
5 a.m. and have the wrestling match and go through the school morning routine. So
that brings me joy for you. I am joyful that you won't be doing that.
Thank you very much.
Very.
Oh, I need to share that lastly, the toothbrush situation, how we bought that Colgate Hum thing.
Yes.
And it has been a little bit of a work in progress, but I am seeing good things. Very good.
Oh, good.
I'm seeing agreeability. So this, I'll keep reporting back on it again, but yeah, I feel like the Colgate Hum for those parents of special needs children, if you need to get them to brush their teeth, this got lights and sounds and turns your kid into a scuba diver while they brush their teeth. So,
oh, awesome. I love it. Well, hopefully people will give that a go.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, remember that a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles, and I'm very grateful for not waking up next week at 5 a.m.
And I'm so grateful for you, Carly, and all the moms out there that do all this very hard work, especially our special needs moms. So take a minute each day to focus on something that you're grateful for, whether you journal, pray, or just ponder. It'll do the soul good.
Good final words. And with that, we're going to close out the show. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Have a great week.